Thanks for joining me, Bears fans. This is about the Bears defence and the improvements that we've seen from the defensive line. And obviously I've got a guy here that's been highlighted, and much talk about him, Montez Sweat, and the effect that he's been having. But there's a guy that's right here in the middle of the screen, and I'm not talking about Edmonds, that we're going to see is making a huge difference from the defence for the Chicago Bears. We see him transition from a 1 to a 3 tech, and Jones go from a 3 to a 1. So it's about gap integrity. I want you to watch the leverage and get off that this huge man, Andrew Billings, has as soon as the ball is snapped. So there's the ball snapped, and you see it's a zone towards. So it's really important with the zone towards, he does not let this guy reach block to the outside of him. He's got to maintain his gap discipline in the B gap. Look at that, stops him dead. He cannot get down to second level. Centre's going to have to try and do it, but you see him collapsing him. Now we've got Jack Sanborn. We've got 3 linebackers free to make a play, because Billings has jacked his man and is now pushing him into the gap. Montgomery has to cut back around the back of the edge there. He can't, so he cuts back the opposite way into traffic. We see the defensive end from that side, and Jones into make a tackle with Sanborn in the backfield, and it's all because of the level of domination up front by Billings. That's what a great way to start the video. So we're into more top work by Billings, top Billings indeed. Watch him transition from the shaded 1 tech up to a big on big 0 with an inside shade 4 by Walker. And you see him just absolutely beat the centre clean off the snap, swim around into the backfield. And this is why the penalty was called. Quite clearly see the trip. And it's because he got beat, literally beat like a drum by Billings with that move into the backfield. Goff has to move. It's covered up on the outside. Now we're in pursuit, throwing back across his body, can't get it to the receiver. And again, all because this big dude right here is going to beat his man off the snap like a drum. See him transition into a big on big, head up, nose. Right now as the motion goes across. Look how quickly he beats him, swims through. There's the trip, ref sees it. There's the litter going into the backfield. Look at the effort by the big man at the end of the play. Here we see Billings as a 1 tech stroke shaded nose. Tight gap there between, in the A gap, both guards being very close to centre. On the snap under centre, angled in. Guard comes towards him. Look at him basically one arm the guard to keep his inside hand for the A gap free. Presses, driving his man into the backfield. You want to get the QB off his... on a quick throw, get him off his beat, and that's the way you do it. We see Sweat beat Sewell on the outside to in move, but look at Billings shoving the guard literally right into the lap. So starting from that line there, shoving him right the way into the backfield. What a great job by Billings. The point of this video is to show that on defensive line work particularly, your results of your work is not always going to show up on a stat sheet. You're not necessarily going to get tackles for loss, and you're not necessarily going to be getting sacks, but you can be a very good defensive lineman. As we see, when they finally sort out who is 1 and who is 3 between Jones and Billings, we're going to see Billings get off the line of scrimmage again. Okay, so when he sees the gap, it's just a regular pass set. Watch him work the guard and the centre, get both off the line of scrimmage, knocking them back with violence with his hands. Look at the hand fighting there to get the inside of the pads of the centre and affect the QB's ability to get the ball over the top. He's having to alter his arm angle, come over the top, less power on it, means that Edwards can get there as it's down and away. Amon-Ra St. Brown can't get to it. Why is that? Because Billings is in the direct line of fire for this pass, pushing the centre into the gap and right into the lap of the QB. Great pressure by Billings. So we're singling him up again. You see he's a sort of a shaded nose. Again, you've seen the guard trying to get a leverage block onto Billings to make it easier for the centre to overtake him. Watch Billings maintain this gap responsibility, really working hard to make sure that the centre, either he's going to get to the gap with the centre or he's going to drive the centre into the gap, which he does. And this play actually drives the centre into the gap as he's not able to get across the face of him, into the body of the running back. And you see the other defensive tackle come free from the backside. Brisker up from the line of scrimmage. Edmonds up. Sweat, the whole team. Everyone's coming to the party. And again, excellent work. You're not always going to necessarily win because you get that block by 73 helping the centre take over. But what you then can do is convert that to power and drive the centre into that gap, maintaining gap responsibility. Fantastic work, very unselfish work by Billings. He even gets in with an assist on the tackle. I can tell you from personal experience, it really is tough work going up against the centre and guard, and the vast majority of plays as a one tech. Here he's shifting from 1 to 3. Still going to get probably guard and tackle. You see both of them working the double. Guard and tackle, working the double on Billings. Watch him not give up at the line of scrimmage. Gets the guard off. He's splitting the man. You see he's got one hand on each blocker. Look at him maintain with body leverage there. Not giving up a yard off the line of scrimmage. Jones is able to then come around the back of his guy. Jones does very well with that swim move around the back. Edwards stonewalling the centre. No one's getting off the line of scrimmage. This is why it's so hard to run on the Bears, because people like Billings taking on a double and working them into the backfield. And you've got people like Sweat with his speed. Tyreek Stevenson coming up to make a tackle. But great work by Billings. And even see Billings here get into pursuit. Again, just if you've lost him on the screen, there he is. Big man in pursuit after working a double initially. What fantastic work again up front. Starting is a shaded nose again. One tech, if you will, shaded nose on the snap hand, making it difficult for the centre. Guard has to come and help because it's on the snap hand. Look at him pushing both into... Yes, I know it's pass pro, they are giving up some room. But as soon as the centre lets go and it becomes one-on-one, look at him being held here and still managing to talk that guard. Despite the fact he's being held, yeah, ticky-tacky, is it a hold, is it not a hold? He's outside the frame of the body. For me, that's a hand round the back and a hand round the front, that's a hold. But look at him just use his power, his leverage and his base just to work the guard right into the lap of the QB, make things hard, collapse the pocket from the inside. He's the closest man to QB, doesn't get a sack, doesn't get a pressure necessarily from PFF, but he's having an effect every single play that he's on the field. I don't know whether you as a Bears fan have been impressed by what you've seen of Billings so far, but I'm so glad that Poles managed to extend him early in the season, and deservedly so with the work he's doing. Again, coming from the shaded nose, working guard, again making his life absolutely hell. Look at the hand usage here. So what we'll do is we'll just try and sort of zoom in a little bit so you can see this a little bit better. We'll just try and zoom in on this work right in here, and we're going to see, look at the hand work by Billings here. Getting his hands off, he can't get a square hit on him, beats him. Now he's in on the QB, and so close to getting a hit on the QB. Does get a hit in the end, but QB just gets it away. And as you see, Goff kind of shot puts the ball, and it wounded ducks harmlessly away. Again, all because of the work of this hand fighting, this lateral agility and getting upfield using his base and leverage. Look how active he is at both sides, working it, never really giving an easy, even quarter of a second to the guard. Leave him one-on-one, you've got a problem. Focus on Billings again shaded this time to the free hand of the centre. He's got to snap the ball. You see him snap it low and away. You don't think this is because he knows he's got Billings. If it's a good snap, it's right in there to the right hand. This is down low to the left hand side because he knows he's got Billings on that free hand side. Billings into the backfield. He's crossed the line of scrimmage already. That tight end that's trying to come lead around the back has now been affected by the guard who is in the gap. Watch Billings maintain this gap responsibility here, but also driving his man to basically keep the cavalry, Jack Sanborn, on the outside. Billings then sheds his man being held there, spins off the back, gets a hand on the body. Here comes Sweat from the opposite side and Billings from the inside. Again, just fantastic work up front. Billings this time a head up over the guard, which is a 2-tech. You see Jones as a 1-tech. What we're going to see is our guys are going to slant, but we're actually going to see the blockers actually also zone towards this side. So what you don't want to do here as a defensive player is when they start slanting towards you, what you don't want to be caught doing is still going that way when you need to straighten up and get upfield to stop this down block getting into you. So watch what Billings does here. Look how quickly he gets upfield, gets past Sewell, into the backfield. So we get hands on him from the outside. That's again, does he make the tackle? No, he doesn't make the tackle. But look at the speed in which he's through here from the backside. Jones as well, working that. No one can get down to second level. Keeps your linebackers free to be able to come in and make a tackle. You've got Brisker there from the backside. We've already got, I believe, Sanborn is already through the line of scrimmage. No, he's not. His Sweat there. Brisker comes free. One of his, I think it was 12 or 13 tackles. Great stuff up front. Just a few more plays, and I hope that you've appreciated Billings' work the way that I have. Here you see him as one tech. We get Jones moved to a 3. Motion comes across. Are they going to swap? They're not. Again, look at the attempted cut block by the centre. Look how quickly he sees it, recognises it, gets hands on the back of the pads. Down you go, fella. I'll stay on my feet. And then we're seeing the big man. Look at the big man here. Look at him in pursuit. He's got no chance of making a play here, you think. But watch him coming. He just overruns it. I mean, if he didn't spin at that particular point, this really would have been, maybe a Jahmyr Gibbs calling for the gurney, I think, because the speed of that man with that size and that mass coming in is going to be not good for him. But at the end of the day, turns back, Sweat's the one that cleans up from the backside, and you got Justin Jones coming up to make a tackle with Edmonds as well. Again, Billings from where he was really has no rights being the size that he is from a cut block, getting in here at the speed that he does, the hustle that he does, very nearly making a tackle. If ever Gibbs carries on straight there, it really is a collision that I don't think the Gibbs family want to see their little boy take. Some players you don't see sort of on Sunday. You don't necessarily recognise the work they do up front. I hope this has given you the ability to appreciate what we're seeing from Andrew Billings up front. Whether it be 0, whether it be 1, whether it be a 3 tech. Here is a head up nose. We see the kill call. It's an A-gap bluff. Look at him working there. 2 gaps over. Basically, big man. You don't expect him to move with this agility. Swim 1. Guard comes to him. Swim again. Beats him. All ends up. He's through the gap. He's having pressure. He just loses his feet at the end, tripping over the legs of the tackle, Decker. But again, what fantastic pressure up front. Real time. That from a nose tackle is fantastic. I'll leave you with this play, and I hope it gives you an appreciation as a Bears fan, the work that's been done up front by our defensive lineman, not named Montez Sweat. And this is no knock against Montez Sweat. He's been fantastic. But we really are getting some really heady play from our defensive tackles, and I think Billings is leading the way with that. I hope you've appreciated it. If you did, I hope I earn your subscription if you haven't already. I hope you've hit like on the video. You're going to share it on your social media so other people can appreciate the work that Andrew Billings is doing. With that said, last play that we're going to see. And again, you see the pulling guard. He recognises this so quick. We're going to get a pulling guard round the back. Billings is head up over the centre. Watch the speed of recognition when he sees this pull. Okay, I'm going to slant over. The guard comes towards him. Look at him beat the guard, get through the gap. Him and Sweat are through the gap now. He's going to work down round the back of Sweat. Sanborn comes in, absolutely crushes him. Billings is in there. It's all messed up front. What fantastic work from the big boys up front across the board, really. This really is fantastic play from the Bears. No wonder that the Lions couldn't run. Let's hope we see more of this against the Browns. With that, this is me, Bellissimo, saying thanks. Bear down. See you next time.